You're such an asshole.
Hey all, it's the old captain here, and I actually had to do some economics, and I didn't have to. I had the data. It's all up here in the old captain's noggin. I know my shit. Unlike everyone else apparently, I did the research in the data. I actually figured out and did some research to find out which economic systems do better versus capitalism versus socialism versus communism. And so it really is, it's not like, oh, hey, I like Democrats, so I'm going to go pick data and find it. Yay, I care and have the feels. I said, okay, what's the data say? Okay, the data says capitalist countries kick ass and make a lot of money and do more to eliminate poverty. Bam, that's the way we're going to go. So for me, it's simply updating the data. Like, what was it, Sherlock Holmes? You don't understand. I only have room in my brain for really important stuff. Whether Pluto's a planet or not doesn't matter. So it's something like that. So I had to just update data. And I wish I could be in person to my client, Steve. Steve writes, and Steve, I wish I could personally deliver this to your fucking pussy brother. Yo, Cappy, my brother who majored in finance was arguing with me on how things would be better in a socialist society. He claims that the government taxing people more just to put that money back in infrastructure somehow creates economic growth. He thinks prisons should be public and that printing more money can help the economy. Can you please explain how each one of these work? Says clearly he wasn't paying attention in economics class. So here's the thing, Steve. Let's talk about this. Because I can't do this for everybody. Now, if everybody in the United States wants to pay me to go and argue, I'll make millions. But what we got to do is we got to start training ourselves so that when just completely brainwashed fools like your brother. I was shocked. Like, he got a degree in finance. Like, I have my degree in finance. I don't know what the hell happened in the past 20 years. Finance has not changed. It's kind of like, okay, it's math. So your brother has gotten brainwashed as fuck, got a shitty education, and the fact he's working, and it's like, you know, Catholics who have abortions, or Lutherans that have fun. I mean, it just doesn't make any fucking sense. A finance major who's a socialist. So one, you can fucking move to a socialist country if you like. But two, Steve, you gotta study this on your own, and everyone else has to study this on their own. Because the old captain, I won't be here soon. And then you guys, I will pass on the mantle. You must carry forward. No, we got the fucking internet. Look this shit up. So, anyway, let us go through each one of these in order. Socialism works. Okay, Steve's brother. You have to decide right now the difference between just blind belief like a religion or empiricism, okay? Belief is the world for religion, all right? I think there's a guy with a funny beard up in the sky, and his son was nailed to a plank of wood, and that I don't go to this place I've never seen called hell. I do go to this place called heaven I've also never seen, and that's better than the other four major religions because their books are not as old or as fucking nerdy as ours. All right? That's belief. You have no proof. You should be ashamed of yourself. I'm being deadly serious. That's nothing to do with politics. You should be fucking ashamed of yourself because you have data. This is not like we can't figure out. You have data and you have history. More data than anyone in the history of the world has ever had with the internet. So here's the little truth about social. Now, this isn't complicated. I know fucking academics and people never work in the real world are going to try and argue otherwise. But it doesn't matter. Bar two countries, well, three, technically if you want to include Denmark, two Scandinavian countries, Finland and Sweden. And Denmark, if you want to consider mainland Europe, okay. Aside from those three little countries, whose populations amount to jack fucking shit in the grand scheme of statistical analysis of the world population, aside from that, communism and socialism is either failing or has spectacularly failed and killed more people than war ever did. You must understand this, because this isn't like, oh, my girlfriend likes pink lingerie, I like her little blue outfit better, and then, no. People fucking die because of your ignorance, Steve's brother. I just think we should have free everything, vote. Oh, why the fuck isn't there any fucking toilet paper in Venezuela? I mean, it's because you're lazy. You don't want to go and study. You want to be told what to think. I mean, my God, you spent 4 years in college and you just sopped up. You just sucked your professor's dick. And you believe what? Wait, let me guess. Did you watch The Night Show or The Late Night Show with Jon Stewart? Or, whatever. Those bunch of fucking pussies and frauds. The shows, the Colbert Report. Did you actually think that was fucking news, dipshit? Anyway, so aside from those three countries, Sweden, Denmark, and Finland, socialism is either failing or has just murdered and been spectacular human atrocities, right? Norway, wake the fuck up, dipshit. Look at their oil industry. That's the only reason Norway's... I know everyone runs to suck Norway's dick, but Norway only has its money because it's got oil. And I think that's bad because oil is a greenhouse gas, isn't it? So we shouldn't have that, right, Steve's brother? So take those little countries out of the way. You look where it's been applied everywhere else, and it fails. At best, you get what's happening in mainland Europe and the United States now. Slow economic growth, Japan as well. And don't tell me the United States ain't socialist, Steve. You should look up government spending as a percent of GDP if you're really fucking smart. But something tells me you didn't look that up because your professor was too busy like having you suck his dick. Or did he fuck you in the ears that you couldn't hear anything? So pretty much all the main Western European countries, Western countries, have high national debts, high deficits, slowing economic growth, and an increasing welfare class. That's not success. That's not booming. And a lot of them have increasing Gini coefficients. Look that up, Steve's brother. I'm sure you studied that as well. All right? So they're not doing all that well. You look historically at the track record of socialists, like actual socialist countries moving to the point of communism. Holy fucking shit. Did you study history? All right? Look at Venezuela right now. How's Venezuela doing, huh? Do you pay attention to them? Oh no, but the brown people. So we don't listen to the brown people. Only the what is it? I think it's like 9 million people live in Denmark, Sweden, and Finland. We're going to look at that small little group. Out of the 7 billion people on the planet, we're going to look at that. But we're not going to look at like heavily populated areas where socialism just ruins everything. What about Ethiopia? Did you remember that in the 80s? No, you're too young to remember. The Ethiopia Marxists came in. Oh, there's a fucking, it's a drought. No, it's fucking Marxists. How come Somalia was doing all right when Ethiopia was fucking up? Because they had communism. Soviet Union versus the United States. Look up any motherfucking statistic. Any statistic on standards of living, technology. The United States was blowing the Soviets out of the water, except for Sputnik and color TVs. What else? Oh, North versus South Korea. Have you paid attention to them recently? I know you, of course, because you know to do this, Steve's brother, you control as many variables as you can. So ideally, you would hope for a situation where there would be a similar people, but two drastically different economic systems. Oh my gosh, the Koreas! I wish we had more data, but oh wait, we do! It was called East and West fucking Germany! And if you look at the data there again, the East Germans, not only did they have about a quarter of the standard of living as Western Germany, oh, they had the Stasi and they'd kill people! Jeez. But you know, you felt good, right? You followed what the Young Turks told you to say? You're popular at those 20-something parties that you go to. And you say, well, I vote for Hillary, hoping that girl might suck your dick because she's equally as ignorant about you, but unlike you, where it says people will like you if you vote socialism and Democrats. She's like, you should vote Democrats because the vagina. And you're like, I want to access that vagina. And she's voting because of it, so I should tell her what I mean, do you think at all, or is it just a luxurious kind of weekend warrior armchair quarterbacking sport we get to play here in the United States because we have everything and we just get to, oh yes, I think we should have everything paid for. Look at how intelligent I am. Oh, I'm so popular. Girls, please come over and ask me out. Yes, because, oh, I think we should tax everybody. Yes, darling, I think we should. Yes, because, oh, those heathens who actually expect to keep the fruits of their labor and their work. Yes. Oh, no, yes, you should totally get out with me because I'm understanding and I'm completely different than every other major millennial dipshit brainwash piece of indoctrinated shit that has ever come out of college university in the arts in the 20 teens. 4 years of school and you didn't learn a fucking thing. And what else? Oh, China. Did you study China? There's an interesting case of socialism versus capitalism. They were socialists. They were full-blown communists under Mao Zedong, then Deng Xiaoping. Do you remember this? Any of these names sound familiar? Because if you don't know these names, that means you're an ignorant fuck. And not in the sense that you disagree with someone as a millennial, so you call them ignorant or racist or sexist or homophobic. No, in the literal definition of the word, you are an ignorant. I don't know if you're a fuck, you could be a nice guy. But right now, because of your ignorance, you're an ignorant fuck. All right? So you have to study history. Let's take a look at China again. Now, there's this country called China. I know you went to the public schools, but I'll try and dumb it down. So China went through this revolution in 1949 between Mao Zedong and Chiang Kai-shek. Chiang Kai-shek was the nationalist, Mao Zedong was the communist. Mao won, and 50 million people died. It wasn't even a fucking war going on. They just said, I think we're going to do some stuff, and we're going to do the Great Leap Forward. Why is everyone dead? So then Deng Xiaoping in the 80s and the early 90s came along. He instituted some reforms. Said, yeah, this communism shit ain't working. And then he started freeing up the markets. And now guess what's the biggest booming economy? Oh my gosh, it's going to rival the United States. And I wonder, Steve's brother, what kind of has the Chinese improved under communism when they're all dying? Or was it capitalism where now they're buying up the fucking world in property? Another interesting thing, Gandhi, you guys are all like, his fucking pedophilia dick, look him up. All right, India, communism. Hey, what's the number 2 growing economy in Asia? Oh, that'd be fucking India, and their standards of living have improved under capitalism too. The amount of ignorance is stupid. I have to deprogram brainwashed zombies, bring them over, and this assumes they're even going to listen to a fucking thing, because the only value they have is I'm a socialist, I care, sleep with me. I gotta build back up. Yeah, you watch the Young Turks too. Ooh. Yeah. Anyway, and then, we could just go through them. Greece, Italy. Greece alone, they voted in the communists. How are they doing? Italy, socialism. Spain, socialism. Look at their economies. Do you go to the OECD.org? Do you know what that is? Or do you just regurgitate shit you heard over on The Daily Show with John Fuckface? So, no, moron. Socialism does not work. It has an atrocious track record. And to be frankly honest, if you want to look at the only reason that we don't know this for a fact, but if you want to look at the few instances, the few data points where socialism actually works, guess what the determining, or the, I shouldn't say determining, that implies causality. Guess what the odd and very eerie kind of correlation is between socialist countries that actually work? They're headed up by really, really, really fucking white people. Not Americans. Americans are not white enough. We're talking almost transparent white people. The Swedes and the Norwegians and the Danes, all right? Those guys, all right? There is some kind of, I would say it's sociological, it's not skin pigmentation color. But you know where socialism only works? Pretty much only really, 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 really white people. Because every other motherfucking place has tried and has fucking failed. Regular white people like us in the United States, brown people down over in Venezuela, and a handful of other socialists. Cuba, that's another one. Fucking Christ. Here's Bermuda, $90,000 GDP per capita. Here's the Bahamas, $50,000 GDP per capita. Here's Cuba, $7,000 on a good day. All right? So knock it off with this fucking bullshit, all right? You are either one of two things. You're either truly ignorant, or you are a propagandist, and you know damn well, but you don't care because it makes you more popular amongst your social circles. Or maybe you lack anything kind of hobbies or any kind of value, anything that gives you value outside your job. And you just think like, well, everybody in my age group says socialism's good and I'm rewarded for it. I don't have any other value in that, so I'm going to advocate socialism. Because I don't know, are you one of the, here's the only other possible conspiracy theory I have. Is that you're kind of like the anarchists or a Marxist in college or high school. You say that so you sound cool, even though you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and you don't even necessarily believe it. There's consequences there, Steve's brother. There are motherfucking consequences to your ignorance. And it's our national debt on a good day, and our fucking sclerotic growth of 2% GDP growth on a good day. On a bad day, it's 50 million people killed of starvation or the Stalinist purges. Which I strongly fucking suggest you and all the other millennial dipshits look up. Because if you care about humans, that's where you'd really go instead of fucking jerking yourself off. Oh, I'm a good person, I'm a Democrat. Oh, I'm a good person, I'm a socialist. I'm a good person, I like voting for minorities. There, alright, now let's continue on. Taxing people more to put money back into infrastructure helps the economy grow. Okay, do you have proof of that? Because right now I'm looking at it. Here, let me show you a couple instances, and you can go ahead and pull the data. We did this in the United States under Obama and Bush. All right? Our economy did not boom. Our economy has been slowing down. All right? Now, you could look this up, but if you want, it's going to require math. I don't know if they teach that anymore in finance classes. But GDP used to be about 4.25% on average back in the 40s and the 50s when evil racist white men were beating their wives daily in the streets. And then we occasionally beat some black people too for shits and giggles. But that has gone down now to about 2.25%, 2.5%. And I haven't pulled the data. I haven't updated it more recently, especially with the past 2 quarters of shitty-ass growth. So it's even probably less than that now. And we've thrown a ton, trillions of dollars, expansionary, if you want to look it up, Keynesian expansionary fiscal policy, and our economy has slowed down. All right? It goes like this, but on average, it's slowing down. You can look at China. China is a perfect example. Whereas I know, yeah, they're capitalist, but they've been booming. Well, the boom started to slow down with the housing bust that more or less the rest of the world faced. And so what China did is spend trillions of dollars on infrastructure projects. Now, some of it did pay off. Like, yeah, we might want to connect Beijing and Shanghai with telephone cables and light rail or whatever else. But they've built entire fucking cities. And they're ghost towns because no one's populating it. Look up the ghost mall in China. Just look it up. No one's using it. I mean, oh, wait, are you just concerned that the number on GDP actually goes up on the government reports? That ink applied to paper? Never mind it's never benefited anybody. Never mind that it was a pissing away of their tax dollars. But you just like to see GDP go up on a report, right? You don't care if people's standards of living go up. Of course you don't. You don't care if people get slain by starvation due to socialism because it makes me feel so good to be a socialist. All right. So anyway, and then Japan. There, that's the main one. Why don't you study Japan? Why don't you study Japan's economy from 1989 on? Why don't you read Vox Day's book on it? You know, actually, the guy who lived there, he's a real economist. He's actually studied this shit, wrote a book about it. You go tell me what kind of infrastructure project has helped get Japan's economy booming. And if you don't know that Japan's economy isn't booming, you just think, well, they're Asian, they're really smart, and Japan's booming economy is always booming. You have not paid the fuck attention. So, no, there is no... You need infrastructure, obviously. If there's no infrastructure, you need some. But merely building roads to the middle of fucking nowhere or choo-choo trains that aren't used or ridden, that doesn't help the economy. Here's an idea. Foreign concept. How about... It's not like it takes Americans a lot of prodding to spend their money. You know, why don't you just let them have their fucking money? And I'm sure the Americans will find a way to go and piss it away and spend it. Whether the money is spent on infrastructure projects that no one's going to use, or it's spent on fucking handbags, or Lululemon yoga pants, which I just found out about later, or fucking whiskey or scotch or beer, at least let the people have their money so that they can go and spend it how they see fit and they can get the most enjoyment out of their life. Do you realize how tyrannical and dictatorial you are, thinking that you know better to tell people to give them their money, all right? And that's not their money you're taking. It's not like money's nothing. They had to sacrifice parts of their finite lives. That was their most important asset, their time, manifested in money, given to you, Steve's brother, who just thinks, well, we should spend it on bridges and infrastructure and light rail and wind farms and choo-choo trains. How about you let them keep their fucking money, and they'll probably spend it. What if they don't spend it? Oh, you mean they save it, and then the bank lends it out to people who will borrow it to buy cars and other things and start businesses? You mean it just doesn't sit there as idle capital? Let me know if I'm going too fast for you. Well, in my day, this is shit we learned by like our second year. Maybe it's like an MBA or a doctorate you need to get to this level. But anyway, it's a moral question, Steve's brother. It's not your fucking money. And... here's something for you Keynesians. It's none of your fucking business if the economy grows or not. It's not your job. It's the American people's job. Well, it's the global population's job to determine how much they want to work and how much they want to produce. That's not up to you. Let them keep their fucking money. Crazy concept. Crazy, I know. But that would get in the way of you going, I'm a socialist. Why do you need other people's money so I can pay other people so they like me? I don't know what's worse, like the welfare bum who just collects a government check, like, yeah, I'm too fucking lazy to work, I want to, or you guys who vote like, I want you to pay more in taxes so I can feel better about myself in the feels. And then printing more money can help the economy. Do you have any proof of this? Do you have any proof? Have you not been paying attention to monetary policy? And fuck Obama, this goes back to Bush. This is like the past 12 years of presidents, all right? So I'd say not Bush's first. Well, heck, we could even go back to probably Bush back in the olden day, but then there was a little bit of a booming economy. I know I hate to tell you this. The economy was booming under Bush more than ever it did under Obama. But we're going to talking monetary policy. Bush's second term, especially during the fight, because his term ended with the financial crisis, and that's when they started ramping up monetary production or monetary policy. So, I don't know what you do, Steve's brother, but I looked up the data, and I intuitively knew that we have expanded the money supply. I think we've trebled it. That means triple. We've increased it a lot, but the economy has not increased. So I'm wondering, like, okay, what has happened if we ran a correlation between economic growth and the change in the monetary base? So if you're saying that we increase money supply by 5%, that'll help the economy grow by 5%, we should see a straight, direct correlation between them. Hey, guess what, Steve, brother? There is no correlation. Well, there is. There is. It's negative. It's a minus 0.18 correlation coefficient. There's the Steve's brother, if you want, you can go to stlouisfed.org, click on the Fred database, and you too can make that chart. I don't know if your fingers will burn because you're actually doing some intellectually honest research and figuring out the facts and reality and the truth. This is an opinion. This is not like me. Oh, I'm just going to be a dick today and go cherry pick some data. No, I just showed you with that chart, Steve's brother. You're fucking wrong. And whatever fucking idiot told you that, he or she is wrong too. All right? So and then the private versus public prisons. Let's use this as a fine, because that's a minor thing. In the grand scheme of things, the public and privatization of prisons is very minor. But let's use this as a lesson, Steve's brother. Let's use this as a lesson. I didn't know. Because it's kind of weird. You're talking all these great grandiose things. What general economic system? Capitalism, communism. Oh, what monetary policy? Should we expand the monetary base? And then you're like, public versus private prisons. I'm like, I don't know. I really don't know. And you know what? That was the first step, Steve's brother. I said, I don't know. And you know what I did? I looked it up. See, now there's this thing called a keyboard, and there's a thing called a mouse, and there's this thing called the internet. I'm not sure if you millennials are aware of it or not. But you can go and look shit up, and there are people who study these things. And if you could get an unbiased study, unlike the professors who taught you jack fucking shit over at the University of Southern Florida, unlike these hacks and biased propagandists, sometimes you can find a study that says, oh, this is true or that is true. This is false or that is false. So I went online and I found a report somewhere. It was an article and cited several reports. And you know what it was, Steve? It was inconclusive. They said that after studying the Department of Treasury, I think it was. No, Department of Justice. Sorry, Department of Justice did a study because they want to know, hey, is this cost effective? Are we saving the taxpayers money or not? Or is it cheaper in-house? And what they found is that it is inconclusive. There does not seem to be conclusive evidence, empirical data, that says private prisons are better ran than public ones, or public ones are better ran than private ones. Which one costs more, which one costs less. Some cost more, some cost less. They did show that in private prisons, because they try to keep costs down, that means there's more assaults on, like, the guard to prison ratio, or prisoner to guard ratio is a little bit higher, so there's more assaults on guards. There's more assaults on inmates as well. You can say, well, it's because it's the evil Republican press. No, it's because there's more prisoners. And then there's, like, they got that nice little thinner blue line. Now they might take a risk or something, so you have to probably beat them down. But in any case, it's inconclusive. All right? So let's leave off on that, Steve's brother. Let's try that going forward. Instead of opening your fucking mouth, regurgitating shit you don't know, and it's painfully obvious that you're wrong about, why don't you be like me? An asshole. Go and figure shit out for a fact. Have the data at the ready, know your fucking shit, and be intellectually honest. And then, here's a crazy idea, Steve's brother. You become a good citizen. You become a good steward of this country or any other country that you want to live in. And you actually research shit before you open your mouth, and especially before you fucking vote. Because here's what's great, Steve's brother. I'm older than you. And I think you're going to have kids. I'm not going to have kids. And it ain't good. All I got to do is last 30 more years. You got 50 years on this planet. And if you got kids, that means you're looking more like 80, 90 years of little Steve's brother's children running around. Guess who gets to suffer because of your ignorance and stupidity in voting, and voting in the wrong people? Because it was just too time consuming to go to the Fred database or the OECD database, and by gosh, you'd rather suck sink in the Young Turk's dick before, actually figuring shit out for yourself. It's just easier to have it hand delivered to you. What? Socialism good, capitalism bad. White male's bad, not white male's good. Yay. Vote. Tell me how that ends up for you. Because it won't be me paying for it. It's going to be you, your career, and your kids. And that's how we enjoy the decline. So anyway, if you guys got a question, go to assholeconsulting.com, where, God almighty, this one I can't even be arrogant and cocky. We'll just tell you the motherfucking truth, which is becoming an increasingly rare commodity nowadays, and that's why I charge big bucks for it. Anyway, best of luck to all of you. Toodles.